you have been waiting for, namely Star Trek. And rest in peace, Star Trek. Formerly all the bad things you could imagine about Alex Kurtzman says for 140 South African rands. I wish nothing but horrible things upon those watching Picard Season 3 legally. So, Surf Sharkers, you're all exempt. This is all your fault. We had an out, and thanks to you, all is screwed. The franchise is screwed permanently. I'm out. Trek so long as New Trek is considered canon. And yes, that brings us neatly to the video that we broke on Monday, where we basically reported the rumors that we had heard that Alex Kurtzman and Secret Hideout have been renewed up until the year 2030 in order to facilitate Terry Matalas being the showrunner, presumably for Star Trek Legacy. Now, again, there were plenty hedges in that video, and I stand by those. We do not know that everything in it was accurate. We were very clear about this, that our sources had heard different things. Our sources were not in agreement about the status of Star Trek Legacy. They were not in agreement about how far along it was, and they were not in agreement about the renewal, which we tried to emphasize. One source says this, one source says this. We do not know what is accurate, but it does seem likely that there has been some kind of Secret Hideout extension, as evident by only yesterday, the day after we dropped that video, we learned that Strange New Worlds has been renewed for Season 3, and this is before Season 2 is released, and that the animated Lower Decks has been renewed for a 5th season. What we have also heard very consistently is that the Secret Hideout contract was about to expire. There was apparently days or weeks left on it. And we also heard there was a very real chance that none of these things were going to happen. The reason we haven't heard about Season 3 of Strange New Worlds until now is because Paramount were very closely considering not doing it. But then it all changed last week, and now it's all happening. And what I have heard since then is that they have internal viewing figures that have not yet come out through Nielsen ratings. But apparently with episode 5 of Picard, it started really slow, wasn't in the top 10, but then it shot up to the very top of ratings after that, and repeat viewings are also amazing, and that is what swayed their decision. So, what are your thoughts on Strange New Worlds?
I do have a short update, basically, and that is that from one of my sources, from what we had heard, is that they had not talked to Terry yet. So there has been no formal talks with Terry.
I've heard that from 3 different people, that nobody has talked to Terry about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
exactly
I have
what
no
I mean.
idea on the ratings. I haven't exactly seen Picard trending outside of our circles, so I can't say that it's doing any better than it was the first 2 seasons. If it was doing better than the first 2 seasons, I would think CBS would be, bellowing it from all the rooftops. But at this point, I think we have yet to see what's going to happen. It could be that Kurtzman is pushing for an extension. We got to keep that in mind.
Oh, for sure. He's definitely pushing for an extension.
Well, we know he is, but I mean, as far as like what information is being put out there, even through our sources. So, yeah.
Culture, you have to be leaving. But before you do, any thoughts on all things Star Trek?
I'm saddened that Kurtzman got renewed.
Whoa. That's not confirmed.
We have not had that confirmed.
We have support, but we don't have it confirmed.
I'm saddened to hear that could be what occurred.
I mean, in all theoreticalness, like Strange New World Season 3 could be done and out by way before 2026. So, like, that still doesn't mean
it's coming out next year.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry to hear about Upper Decker. I am I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
that
sorry.
you should
to,
be sorry about, because everybody should be sorry for that.
I'm sorry for a lot of these things, and I'm sorry to the Real Trek fans, because again, my thoughts on what Terry's done is, while remarkable, still is suffering under the weight of all that has gone before recently, and there's no way to escape the giant wound that was created by this particular timeline. But with that being said, it's interesting to watch your favorites in Star Trek melt away in front of your eyes. But on that note, I do have to step out. I had a great time. It was wonderful to be with you again, Chuck. You are a brilliant man. Andre, thank you, sir. Tom, enjoy your donuts. And Script, keep busy, dude. Get us out of this entertainment hole, please.
Well, as soon as the check's clear, I'll be able to help that.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. See you soon.
And RIP Star Trek continues for another 35 South African rounds. Everyone says Matalas can stay, but everyone is repulsed by more secret hideout Trek. And yeah, that's absolutely a point of view to sympathize with. Chuck, are you into Trek at all? And have you enjoyed Star Trek of the last, 15 years?
No, I sort of ducked out after the second recent movie. I really haven't paid any attention to any of this stuff.
Yeah, that was Alex Kurtzman's Dream Child. He's the one we're talking about here. He's the one who decided to make that a 9/11 truther movie.
Yeah, and also turn the characters into superheroes. I lost all interest at that point.
Yeah, and then Doomed, huh? Has a super chat here, which looks like it very easily can be like an audio clip. So I'm gonna improvise a little bit here. Doomed, huh? Says Picard season 3 rules. Says Doomed, huh? And Doomed, huh? Also says eat it. Says Doomed, huh? Overlord. Terry Trek. So yeah. I know I can clip that and send that to Overlord and say I said something I didn't. But thanks for the support, Doomed, huh? And you are, of course, entitled to feel that way. And then we just have to wait for more news on Star Trek, as we really try to emphasize in that video. We do not know the accuracy. We have different sources saying different things. Now we hear that Matalas hasn't signed on to anything, and then probably that is accurate. Someone may have signed on to something. Someone may be in talks about something, but that doesn't mean that Matalas is. That is the thing.
One thing to note is that Matalas's contract with Secret Hideout ended with Picard season 3. So if
he would have to sign a new deal.
You'd have to sign a new deal, but he doesn't have to sign it with Secret Hideout. That's the other thing that's of note. Paramount and CBS can offer him something independently without it infringing on any other rights.
Unless they want to continue literally from the Picard series and do a spin-off of that, because Secret Hideout has ownership in that.
They do have ownership of that. But let's say Terry does what we call here the Nick Locarno effect in Star Trek, which is he brings back the same actors, but they're not playing the same characters. And it's a brand new independent series, supposedly called Star Trek Legacy. He can do that if he wanted to.
Yeah, that he can do. He just can't have those connections to what they have right here.
Yeah, it's kind of a jagged hook right now at this point. It's like to go forward from anywhere from here, I'm not saying they would do a Picard season 4 because Picard's done, but to carry on with the new characters that are being introduced, along with a few of the classic characters in some kind of legacy series. You're right, because all those new characters are owned by, or partially owned by, Secret Hideout. All the new ones are, which is why they gave Picard a new, whatever you want to call it. Not to spoil anything. Yeah.
And just to round out the Star Trek discussion, Lope Hunter says for $4.99, Star Trek, the original series fan since September of '66. New Trek is a sad mess. Any hope Kurtzman can be kept away from show-running Star Trek after extension? So yeah, let's just assume for a moment. Let's just assume for the moment that the reporting, the rumors that we heard and reported on, that they are accurate. The rumor then is that Paramount, they want Matalas, but in order to have Matalas and to have him continue exactly from where was started in Picard Season 3, they also have to renew with Kurtzman and Secret Hideout, which means that he theoretically would still have some level of power. Would he be smart enough to just do something else and leave the daily Star Trek operations to Matalas, or would he want to interfere? What do you think, Chuck?
Yeah, I don't know, but I am fascinated. Fan since 966. I got to ask Globe Hunter, did you see Star Trek during its regular programming slot, or did you see it on that special preview night NBC had a few weeks before the show debuted? Anyway, very, very geeky, deeply nerdy question I have for Globe Hunter. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of this politics with Trek. I hate this stuff. You know, I just wish they could get the franchise back on its feet, but I simply don't see it happening. They've screwed it up so much over the past decades. I don't see it ever repairing itself.
Script, what say you?
Well, there's a couple of possibilities out of this because, again, even though, so here's something that's kind of fascinating, right? Because Kurtzman and Secret Hideout can claim ownership of the new characters. However, a lot of the characters that they have used in their series are not characters that they owned, but of technically characters that belong to the original franchise. So a smart executive at CBS who understands the relationship that Kurtzman has had with Star Trek and how it has had a declining value could basically pull the same type of gimmick that Secret Hideout and Bad Robot did on the original characters and do that with the characters that Secret Hideout owns to basically divorce them from that franchise. Because, again, like Secret Hideout doesn't own Jean-Luc Picard, it doesn't own Riker, it doesn't own Worf, Beverly Crusher, etc. It doesn't even own Christopher Pike or Number One, Una, or Uhura, but they've used them all. So the fact of the matter is that you can actually pull a reversal on a contract thing where Terry Matalas could still do a legacy Star Trek show that has no association with Secret Hideout using the same tactics of licensing that Secret Hideout used with regards to those characters. So you could actually keep them separate. That would be the smartest thing that CBS could do, but I don't think they're going to do that. In the event that this goes on to success, since this is the only success that that Secret Hideout has associated with Star Trek, I can see Kurtzman staying in the background and trying to get his other shows off the ground in the future, because he can always rely on Star Trek to keep his contract with Paramount while he continues to fail with other new shows season after season.
You know what I find fascinating? That Script Doctor just used 2 Spock terms in that whole thing there. So you are now officially our Spock, and I think that makes sense.
I'm dressed as McCoy.
I don't care. I'm the emotional one here. I'm the McCoy, and Andre's clearly the
I thought Andre would be more of the Spock. He's way more logical.
I would think so too, and I was just thinking of this, but you know what? You and I always kind of get into the spats a bit more, so I think well,
let's say that I'm Sarek then.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. But I am kind of, then I guess I'm still Kirk. God damn. Anyway, no, like I think you're right, and I agree with you. As you just said, Script, there are always possibilities, because yes. As going off of this, we need to talk about the merchandisers and Secret Hideout. Well, as you've noticed from a lot of the merchandise, if you've been out to any stores, toy stores lately, Playmate's deal is firing on all cylinders, and it's all classic Trek stuff. In fact, my local Walmart cannot keep the phaser replica on the shelf. I'm glad I bought one when I did. So I think there's still a demand for classic Trek. I think there's still a way to turn the ship around. I hope Paramount realizes this, and if they have to work with Kurtzman, it's more or less on a level of he has very little power, because I honestly don't know where else they can go from here, but I feel like Star Trek is the only franchise that has the ability to reinvigorate itself, because it has time and time and time and time again. And I think it can be resurrected. It has to get past this phase.
If Picard Season 3 shows anything, it is that it can indeed be resurrected.
Yes.
And also, just to answer earlier questions, 6 says that she's Spock, so you guys can stop together. And Lope Hunter has the answer to your question, saying, "Hey, Mr. Dixon, I remember seeing the Man Trap on a Thursday night at 7:30 p.m."
Okay, so he saw it on the preview night, special preview night. That's neat.
Yeah.
I remember watching it with my mom.
I have the original radio ad here somewhere for Star Trek. It's kind of funky. It's like an Earthling and a spaceman are on a ship together, trekking.
We have a handful of super chats left, so we are going to go through them now.